Hey guys, today on People Now, T-Swift fans, get ready. Tay-Tay is headlining a huge new live concert event.
Hear how Serena Williams hopes her new Wheaties box cover will inspire young girls.
Plus,
I definitely do still feel like the new kid on the block.
the Spider-Man Far From Home premiere swings into Hollywood.
It's got a lot of action, it's got glamour.
Elizabeth Banks gives us some clues about what to expect in the new Charlie's Angels.
And one of our favorites, celebrity chef Andrew Zimmern, is here with a passionate cause.
It's all live today on People Now. Let's go.
Hey, happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to People Now. Great to see you. Good to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you as well.
Well,
Feeling
guess
good.
what? It's a really special day, right?
It is.
We like to keep up with the birthdays as much as we like to keep up with the Kardashians. Guess what? It's Khloe Kardashian's 35th birthday, everybody. Yeah.
To celebrate, we want to see your favorite gifts of Khloe. So tweet them at us with the hashtag PeopleNow. You might see them on the show.
We're going to check in on those in a little bit, but for now, we kick things off with some Khloe news. Khloe Kardashian isn't watching her and Tristan Thompson's cheating scandal with Jordyn Woods play out on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. The reality star dished to Extra in a sit-down about her new show, Revenge Body, that she normally watches the show when it airs, but she's taking a little break. Here's what she said about it. Quote, "Stuff like this, I don't think is that healthy to keep reliving and going through all those emotions again." I completely agree with her. That makes a lot of sense. She says that what she went through with Thompson is what it is, adding, quote, "It happens sadly to millions of people, and it is part of life and a growing experience for so many of us." Khloe adds that she's leaning on her family for support, including her sister Kourtney's ex, Scott Disick, who was also on hand. He was promoting his own upcoming show, Flip It Like Disick. He had some sweet words for his pal Khloe, saying that he wouldn't set her up with anyone anytime soon because, quote, "There's no one good enough. There's no one alive." So he's got a very high standard. No time soon. It doesn't sound like Khloe is looking to date right now anyway. She said, "I'm definitely not thinking about it. I'm having such a great time with my daughter. I'm loving family time, me time, and being with True. It's awesome. That's my focus right now." We'll have more from Khloe and Scott later on in the show from our own interview with them, including Khloe's take on her post-baby body and how it wasn't as easy to bounce back as she expected it to be. All right, just days after the Jordyn Woods-Tristan Thompson cheating scandal unfolded on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Woods is sharing her side of that story. In an interview with ET, Woods says, "It's just, things happen, and of course, I'm sorry and apologetic as much as I can be." That's her quote. During the episode, Khloe Kardashian claimed that Woods had, quote, "never once said I'm sorry" in the immediate aftermath of the scandal back in February. Kim Kardashian added in the same episode that Woods was being financially supported by the Kardashians at the time. Woods responded to that claim as well, saying, quote, "I definitely work very hard for a lot of the things that I have, and as you can see, I'm out here hustling, and I've always been working. I started modeling when I was 18, and I work hard." The day after part one of the cheating scandal episode aired, a source told People that Khloe and Tristan were, quote, "not in a proper relationship when the drama with Woods went down." That source explained, quote, "They had not been for weeks. They didn't even spend Valentine's Day together, which was right before he messed around with Jordyn." The insider adds, "But this doesn't mean that it was completely over for Khloe. It was very difficult for her to find out about Tristan and Jordyn, but this is what made her realize that Tristan would never change. It was heartbreaking for her." To see the rest of the scandal's aftermath play out, you can catch part 2 of Keeping Up with the Kardashians finale. It's this Sunday night on E! All right, we now move on to a little T-Swift news. Listen to this. Yeah, Taylor Swift fans, calm down. She is headlining the 2019 Prime Day concert presented by Amazon Music. It's going to be a lot of fun. The big show takes place July 10th. It's streaming live on demand at 9 p.m. Eastern exclusively for Prime members. The concert will be hosted by the hilarious Jane Lynch. You might know her from little shows like Glee, Hollywood Game Night. She's staying busy. I'm sure she's going to add even more fun to that concert. Of course, Tay-Tay isn't running the whole show alone. Other artists set to perform include Dua Lipa, SZA, and Becky G. Fans of the performers can easily watch the concert with their Amazon Prime membership. Packages range from $8.99 and $12.99 a month, or a flat rate of $119 a year. And by the way, it's a summer of big sale events for Amazon. Starting Thursday, Amazon will offer Prime members 4 months of Amazon Music Unlimited for only 99 cents. Subscriptions typically cost $7.99 a month, so that's a really good deal.
Yeah, not bad.
In addition to that, on July 15th and 16th, Amazon subscribers will be offered deals on over 1 million items for Amazon Prime Day. That's always a big deal, so you can check that out as well. All right, Serena Williams finally has her own box of Wheaties. Despite her impressive success on the tennis court, this is going to be the first time that she appears on the iconic cereal box, and only the second time a black female tennis player has earned that honor. Althea Gibson was the first in 2001.
I love this. General Mills has been celebrating extraordinary athletes by putting them on their cereal boxes since 1934. Now, Serena joins the ranks of other sports legends like Michael Jordan, Caitlyn Jenner, and Mary Lou Retton. After winning 23 Grand Slam singles titles, 14 Grand Slam doubles titles, and 4 Olympic gold medals, I think she belongs there.
She's earned the spot, no doubt. In a press release, Serena says, "I have dreamt of this since I was a young woman," adding, "I hope my image on this iconic orange box will inspire the next generation of girls and athletes to dream big."
I think it will. The marketing manager for Wheaties praised Serena in the press release, saying, "On the court, she's been named the women's most valuable player 7 times, while off the court, she uses her voice to inspire and spark change to make the world a better place."
Yeah, really excited for her and this whole thing. We can't think of anyone more deserving than Serena. Fans on Twitter, they seem to agree. One fan shared their excitement, writing, "I'm getting me some Wheaties."
Another fan shared, "I'm in awe with this woman, athlete, business mom. What an inspiration. Time to eat some Wheaties."
Even fellow tennis icon Billie Jean King reacted to the news, saying, "Cheers to 2 champions, Althea Gibson, the first African-American tennis player to be featured on the cover of Wheaties in 2001, and now Serena Williams."
Yeah, the limited edition box will be available in grocery stores nationwide for the next several weeks. Now I need some Wheaties. Congrats to her, though.
I never eat Wheaties.
Yeah.
But now, maybe for the...
Now's the time for Serena.
More for us in Star Treks.
Yes, we are kicking off Star Treks today with a star-studded LA premiere. Watch this.
It's strange. I definitely do still feel like the new kid on the block. It's an interesting feeling because I've been doing it for a while now, but you know, I'm so lucky that the fans are still so enthusiastic about our movies. They're so excited as we are to share it with them. So I just can't wait to get this film out there and hear what everyone thinks.
That's actor Tom Holland at the premiere of his new movie, the latest Marvel installment, Spider-Man: Far From Home. It was a star-studded night at the TCL Chinese Theater in Los Angeles, with stars like Jake Gyllenhaal, Samuel L. Jackson, and Marissa Tomei hitting the carpet and looking great. Holland's co-star and love interest in the film, Zendaya, was also on hand, looking absolutely stunning while rocking this backless black and red sequin gown, which paid homage to the Far From Home suit that Spider-Man wears. She seemed to share the same sentiment of wonder while on the carpet, telling ET that it's premieres like this one that give her pinch me moments. You can see Tom Holland and Zendaya back in action in Spider-Man: Far From Home when it swings into theaters on July 2nd. See what I did there? The Spider-Man swings.
So he's got the spider webs.
All right, on to this. Eva Longoria's adorable baby boy, Santiago, may have just turned 1 year old on June 19th, but he's already a cover star. He and his famous mom are Parents Magazine's August cover story. And as we all know, Eva is balancing a lot these days. She's a mother, a wife, an actor, a director, a producer, a philanthropist, and an activist. Basically, super mom. She does everything she can to make the world a better place, which now includes raising her son to be the kind of man the world needs. As one of the founders of the Time's Up movement, Eva has been an outspoken advocate for women in front of and behind the camera. And motherhood has only made her even more passionate about those goals. She brings little Santi everywhere, not because it's convenient or to bond with her son. She says it's mostly to make sure Santi soaks up the work his mother does and the causes she holds dear. Santi is a mainstay on his mama's sets, including the new ABC series Grand Hotel. Eva even hired a predominantly female production crew to get that job done. She tells parents that surrounding Santi with strong, independent, hardworking women helps expand his social consciousness, explaining, quote, "I feel there's more pressure to raise a good man today in this world and to make sure he understands equality and feminism, but it's not about telling him, it's about showing him in his everyday life." I really like that. Eva returned to work fairly quickly post-childbirth. Just 6 weeks after Santi's arrival, she was in the director's chair. She said, quote, "Going back to work was hard. Breastfeeding while working was hard, just for the timing of the pumping and the feedings and the sleeping and the not sleeping." Well, we recently spoke to Rosalind Sanchez, one of the stars of Grand Hotel, who told us how her dear friend made it all look easy. Watch.
She was directing and acting and producing while she was breastfeeding, you know, and seeing all that, it was such an inspirational thing for me.
And for more with Eva and baby Santiago, you can pick up a copy of Parents on newsstands now. Well, the first trailer for the Charlie's Angels reboot is here. Take a look.
You guys are like lady spies.
Jane's former MI6.
Oh God, what did you do to Sven?
I compressed his carotid and deoxygenated his brainstem.
Well, that sounds painful.
Don't worry, he's gonna wake up.
Unless he doesn't.
Don't mess with these angels. Woo! Charlie's Angels are back and fiercer than ever, coming back on November 15th. The movie stars Kristen Stewart, Naomi Scott, and Elizabeth Banks, among many other strong ladies, which we love. Now, Elizabeth also directed it, and she told us why she wanted the update. Why she wanted to update the classic, and why empowered women everywhere will love it.
When the show came out in the 70s, Charlie's Angels was an instant hit because of its blend of beauties with brains kicking butt in a job that few women had ever done before, which was detective work. And so we're just taking that tradition and updating it for today. You know, this is a group of women who love each other and support each other and will fight for each other, not just with each other. That really mattered to me. It's got a lot of action, it's got glamour, it's got fun, it feels big and global. We don't have superheroes in this movie. Nobody has a golden lasso. Nobody can shoot fire out of their fingers. It's women who just are really grounded and who work hard at what they're doing and push through really terrible situations by working together.
And we are loving the girl power here. Now, Elizabeth wears a lot of hats on set, actress, director, screenwriter, but at home, she's just mom. But are her sons big Elizabeth Banks fans?
Well, my kids love to come to movie sets, mostly for the craft services. I feel excited to show my kids their mom at work. I grew up with a working mom, and she imparted an incredible work ethic in me. I like involving them in my work, and I think it's important that as a working woman and as a leader on my movie sets that I show other women that it's okay to bring your kids to work. I have a very open policy about parenting on my set. I think that parenting is your #1 job. I think getting on conference calls and hearing children in the background, I'm excited that that happens more and more when I'm on the phone with both men and women. We should be having whole lives, right? I don't need to separate my work from my kids as much as I used to. I think there's old stigma around that, and I think there's a sense that you can't involve your kids in what you're doing in some way. I'm just like, I throw all the rules out and I invite my kids into my work life because I want to be with my kids and I want to do great work.
I love her, and I'm so excited for this movie. It's going to be so fierce. All right, actor Kevin Costner is the latest celeb to swing by couch surfing to take a look back at some of his most epic performances. Now, one of them is alongside legendary singer Whitney Houston in the beloved 1992 film The Bodyguard. And Costner revealed there was almost a sequel featuring the one and only Princess Diana. This was something that almost happened with the help of Sarah Ferguson. Take a look.
Diana and I had this thing, and I said, look, I'm going to write this part with you in mind. Is this something that you think you would like to do? And she said, yes, I do. I just remember her being incredibly sweet on the phone, and she asked a question. She goes, are we going to have like a kissing scene? But she said it in a very respectful, but she's a little nervous because I think her life was very governed. And I said, yeah, there's going to be a little bit of that, but we can make that okay too.
And Costner currently stars on the Paramount Network series Yellowstone and explains why the show's story is so important to share.
Right there where we're shooting in the Bitterroot Valley, the Native Americans, after winter was over, would move up the Bitterroot and out to the plains and hunt buffalo all summer and then come back. There was a big settlers all formed a wall across that valley and said, you will never come through here again. So a civilization, a group of people who had been doing this for thousands and thousands of years, 60 years later, after meeting us, said, you can't come through here anymore. That story repeated itself across our country. I'm interested in that, and I'll make more stories about that, without trying to make them history lessons or trying to set the record straight, but I'll continue to make stories about that interaction, about the westward expansion. And I'm not ashamed, and I'm not what happened. I realize the resourcefulness it took for, the people that were here to make a life for themselves, but there was this wipeout. There was this tragedy that occurred, and it's not talked about in any meaningful way in school.
We love hearing from him. You can watch Kevin Costner dive into a bunch of his other roles when Couchsurfing drops on PeopleTV this Friday. And those are your Star Tracks for today.
All right, guys, stay with us. Daisy Ridley and her Star Wars co-star John Boyega have the cutest friendship. She takes us behind the scenes and tells us all about her new movie, Ophelia. Plus, bizarre food star Andrew Zimmern will be here live. We are talking the future of food and the way he is helping kids access healthy food all year round. All right, guys, Prince William says he would fully support his kids if any of them came out as gay. The Duke of Cambridge made the comment on Wednesday while visiting the Albert Kennedy Trust, an organization that seeks to alleviate the problem of homeless LGBTQ youth in London.
Prince William shares 3 kids with Kate Middleton, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis. And when directly asked how he would feel if one of them told him they were gay or lesbian, he said it would be, quote, absolutely fine by me. William actually said he and Kate have talked about this before, but admitted there is some worry involved.
Here's what he said about that, quote, the one thing I'd be worried about is how they, particularly the roles my children fill, is how that is going to be interpreted and seen. Going on to add, it worries me not because of them being gay, it worries me as to how everyone else will react and perceive it, and then the pressure is on them.
They're under a lot of scrutiny as public figures. William also mentioned different struggles LGBTQ people face, hateful words, persecution, discrimination.
Prince William previously supported the community by posing for the cover of Attitude magazine in June of 2016. All right.
Yeah, happy birthday to Khloe Kardashian. The reality star turns 35 on Thursday. Gotta say, 35, looking good on her.
Looking really good on her. She has a lot to be excited about this summer. Season 3 of Revenge Body with Khloe Kardashian returns on July 7th on E! You can make sure to tune in for that. We love watching people totally transform their lives. They get their confidence back. They hit the gym. They eat healthy. It's this whole transformation.
Yeah, Khloe has gotten so confident in the gym over the last few years, but she revealed to us it was way tougher than she expected to bounce back after welcoming her daughter True in 2018.
Khloe was 203 pounds when she gave birth, and she's not going to sugarcoat it. It took some time to feel like herself again. Watch.
I don't know, in your head, you feel like you have a baby, you push the baby out, and you're just going to be skinny again. And then you go home from the hospital, and you're like, what? Okay. After I had True, I was like so excited to start working out again. And mentally, I was there. And I was like, I can't wait. As soon as I got clearance from my doctor, I was there the very first day. But then physically, I couldn't do it. I was out of breath. And I was like, oh my God. It's a big shock, I think, but also feeling like you don't really know how you're going to get to your end goal. So I took it really slow. I did it day by day, and I took every day as it came. And, you know, if I could get through that workout, I did. But I definitely didn't. You're not going to get it back in a day. I was really proud of myself, though, for not being as hard on myself. Like, still on Kylie's 21st birthday, I'm in a crop top and high-waisted pants, and I wasn't at my thinnest at all, but I was so proud for getting to where I was at that time that I was like, I want to show this off. And, you know, I'm proud of myself for being that kind to myself, because I think we have to be kinder to ourselves. And it took, you know, 9 months to gain the weight. Give yourself at least a year to take it off, I think, because you have to adjust, and now you're juggling with a baby and your life, and then trying to do those moments that are about you. And you have to have those moments, but you also have to be kind and learn how to balance it all.
I love that she's figuring it out, and I think her honesty about that process connects with a lot of moms out there, and it's sort of like that post-baby phase and what to do with it.
And also celebrate your body at every step of the way, right? And in celebration of Khloe's birthday, we've been asking you to send in your favorite gifts of the Kardashian queen, so let's take a look what you guys been sending.
Loving the earrings. Happy birthday to the biggest influencer of my personal style.
Hoop earrings, they're kind of making a comeback.
Oops, can I get an amen? All right, amen. Hashtag fact, the queen of sex.
Yeah, Khloe's very unfiltered. I think she's probably the most unfiltered Kardashian for sure.
All right, happy birthday,
sass.
Khloe, queen of sass. A lot of people kind of tap into that. There we go. All right, keep sending in those gifts, but for now, we move on to this. Watch.
Tell me, what is inside a person? Good morning, my lady. Where does love reside? Where truth?
To Prince Hamlet!
Your thoughts? Or madness?
Daisy Ridley stars in the new film Ophelia. We chatted with her about the modern take on the epic Shakespearean character, as well as the upcoming and much anticipated Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, so much anticipation for that. She seems to have a pretty great relationship with her co-stars, specifically Star Wars co-star John Boyega.
John's got my heart. He's just my peanut. I don't know, it's the closest relationship to a brother I've ever had. He's just wicked.
That's incredible. What have you guys bonded the most over?
I don't know really. He likes to kiss my really large forehead. I don't know. We say bled a lot to each other. I really wanted to see him here.
Yeah.
He's shooting somewhere in the city, but I didn't have time.
Seek him out.
Busy guy.
I love their friendship. Another guy Daisy seems to dig is Nick Jonas. They were co-stars on her movie Chaos Walking, which is currently in post-production, and she just can't seem to get Nick's music out of her head.
Go together.
You worked with Nick before. You were just
I
telling us
did,
about that.
yeah.
So is it kind of cool for you to see the music come back after knowing him as an actor?
I mean, yeah. Also, what's hilarious is our director, Doug, I don't know how, but he missed the wedding.
Really?
So when we were recently doing pickups in Atlanta, he said something, and Doug was like, they were chatting, and somebody said about him being married, and he went, "Oh my God, you got married! Congratulations!"
It's like, what rock have you been living under?
Literally, what rock have you been living under?
everywhere.
Yeah. Had no idea.
And personally connected to
Yeah.
him as well.
I
You would
know,
think you
yeah.
would really know.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
They definitely seem to have a bond. Right? We're going to have more from our sit down with Daisy tomorrow. We loved her. We talked about so much,
great.
and we'll have some more next week as well. You can see Daisy's latest film, Ophelia, when it hits theaters Friday, June 28th.
Hi, my name is Susan. I'm very happy to be here. What is your name?
I'm Ronald Reagan. Just call me Ronnie. Oh, I love your face. It's so unusual.
I'm from Colorado, and I've never lived with another cat before.
Well, you'll be fine here because my mom loves cats, doesn't she? Okay. Oh!
Hey, Mom.
Chip.
I need to borrow a car. Do you have keys?
What? My car keys?
Yeah.
This show is amazing.
So funny.
Louis Anderson plays Christine Baskets on the hit FX series Baskets.
So how did Zach Galifianakis think of Louis to audition for the role of his mom? Louis revealed the answer to us.
The truth is that I got a call, and they said, producers and Zach was there, and John Kreisel and Louis, and they said, will you do a character on Zach's new sitcom? And I go, yeah. They go, will you play the mother? And I go, yes.
Like, then you got excited.
I remember. I go, oh, this is exactly right. I don't know why I knew it was right. I always thought I'd play my dad because I do that voice in my cartoon and in my act. But you know what? The mom was the perfect thing. Now that my breasts have come in, it's just perfect.
Timing was right.
So great. He was obviously perfectly cast. Now, back in 2016, he even won an Emmy for the role.
Towards the end of season 3, Christine Baskets gets proposed to, so we had to find out, will she be a new Mrs. in season 4?
Christine has to decide if she can allow someone to love her or not. She hasn't been with anyone for 25 years since her husband died. And so she has to decide, is she going to allow somebody to love her? Is she going to allow herself to have a life? Is she going to allow herself? You know, when you have lived without somebody in your life and now you're going to live with somebody in your life, you have to make some hard choices. And then, is she going to let her kids go, or is she going to continue to smother them and mother them? So a lot of great things. And is Christine going to does she want more than's being offered? So the scripts are so good this year. And it was hard, because it was really hard for me because a couple times I really asked myself, I said, I wonder if my mom was ever this happy with the character. And it really was a gut punch for me.
Now, Louis also admitted to us that playing a woman changed the way he perceives and thinks about women. Take a look.
I like to really be a woman on the set. I know that sounds crazy, but I try to really embrace the idea from a mom's perspective. I've learned so much and appreciate my mom so much more because when you play a woman, people treat you differently than when I'm Louis. It's a weird thing.
In what ways did you notice people treated you differently?
Well, like if there's a man there, they'll talk to the man first and ask him about the situation that's going on. And I'll go, oh, okay.
Interesting.
I mean, I really did. I absorbed that. And then also how much mothers give up for their kids. Like, how much do we take for granted? I don't want to make this a soap opera thing, but how much do you take for granted how much your mom did for you growing up that you don't really notice?
Yeah, he has really great perspective. One of our favorite moments chatting with Louis is the love that he has for his mother. He talks and thinks about her often and pays homage to her by basing Christine Baskets on his mother.
So what characteristics of his mother, Aura Zella Anderson, do we see in Christine Baskets?
She's a little judgmental and a little mean, but in a you're gonna wear that jacket. Not your jacket, but you know how moms will do that. You're going out in that shirt, honey? That type of thing. And she's in everybody's business. And I think what you really find out, though, that my mom had unconditional love no matter what. Like, you know, I could have shot somebody and my mom would go, well, he had it coming.
So funny. I think she would be so proud of him in this show.
Oh, absolutely. And Louis Anderson is quick with those one-liners. Before we let him go, we wanted to test that mind of his with a game of rapid fire.
Describe yourself as a teenager in 3 words.
Big, lazy, and loving.
Biggest pet peeve?
When people are mean. I just hate it.
If you could have any 3 people, dead or alive, over for dinner, who would they be?
Well, it wouldn't be Hitler. A lot of people always say Hitler when I see these things, and I go, Hitler? Why would you have him? Sounds like a drag to me. I like to have, like, Caesar over to see if he orders a salad. I'd love to have Jesus over.
Yeah.
To see, you know, what's going on. Can I see a miracle? What? Don't hold back. Let's see, who would be the 3rd one? My great-great-great-great-great-grandfather.
Yeah, to see how many...
Or grandmother, yeah. To see, you know, if I match up.
Craziest or most impulsive Amazon purchase?
Sparkling shoes.
Oh, why'd you do that?
Because they sparkled.
Did you wear them a lot?
I wear them, yeah, I wear them all. I mean, I wear them on stage.
Yeah.
Because it makes me happy.
Who would play you in the movie of your life?
Well, which one? The woman or the man? No. Goodman? Could he play me? Maybe John Goodman? He lost a lot of weight now, though. So, how about, what's the Pillsbury Doughboy? Who would play me? Brad Pitt, I would guess, would want to. I mean, that's an automatic, right?
If you had a spirit animal, what would it be? Oh,
manatee.
Boy. A manatee?
Manatee. I love the manatee. I mean, this is a beautiful animal that just wants to eat grass.
And swim around.
And swim around and go, what's going on? I haven't been out of here for years. They're the fattest vegetarians I know.
If you want to make a difference in a child's life, go to a place where the experts have been doing it for a long, long time.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for dinner? Yeah!
22 million kids every year receive a free or subsidized lunch during the school year. But during the summer, that number shrinks to about 3.8 million.
Andrew Zimmern is a writer, celebrity chef, and the star of Travel Channel's Bizarre Foods, and he's currently collaborating with the YMCA to raise awareness around the child hunger epidemic through their summer food program. Andrew, thanks for joining us. We love you.
Great
love
to
when
see
you stop by.
Yeah, let's talk about the Y and your connection to the Y. You've talked about it before. Really played an important role for you. It was a place of connection, wasn't it?
Well, I mean, I took my first guitar lessons at a Y. I mean, you know, the Y is often thought of as a place that's a swimming pool or a basketball court or a place to get an inexpensive gym membership, but it's really about building communities, whether it's English as a second language classes, guitar lessons, after school programs, sports programs. I mean, the Y is a vital part of the community with, you know, over 2,500 locations around the country. And when I moved to Minnesota after, just getting sober, coming out of a treatment center, not having any money, in debt to the IRS, the Y was a place that I could go and not only take advantage of programming for myself, but I found that in my sober life, I was learning that the more you give back, the better your life gets. You're not thinking about yourself and your own problems. And the Y was a great place to volunteer a couple hours a week and do things. And so I've always had an attachment to the Y. And as a community builder, it's extraordinary. And over the last 25, 30 years in America, these institutions that have been building community for decades and decades, generations and generations, have been disappearing. And yet the Y keeps flourishing and doing more and more and taking more on. One of the big problems in America today is food insecurity, right? We have tens of millions of Americans, 22% of Americans are food insecure. A very large percentage of those are children. That's not a national embarrassment, that's a national crime. During the school year, kids get breakfast and lunch, sometimes not that nutritive either, because school and the public food in the public school system is not necessarily the greatest in the world. But during this, at least it's food, it's something. It's also a safe place to go. During the summertime, so many kids, millions of kids, right, anywhere between 17 and 20 million, depending on whose study you look at, are going without those meals that normally the school provides. The Y steps in and fills that gap.
It's incredible.
Yeah, and there's a lot of information at the yfeedskids.org, which is a great website, and it's stunning. You know, I didn't know when I started to get into this how much the Y did. You know, they have programs, you know they have summer camp. Did you know that they do satellite programs where they take Y satellite activities into apartment complexes in the inner city, into city parks, providing transportation so that parents have access to it? And the shape of the guest, the client, is different too. You know, we always think, oh, a hungry child is a skinny kid, you know, whose parents have fallen off the radar screen at the end of Lonely Street and the back end of Lonely Town. You know, in talking to the kids and talking to the parents, these are parents, sometimes dual income families, single moms trying to make ends meet. They need a place for their kids to go where they're going to be fed and cared for.
And the Y ends up stepping into that spot. We saw in your My Y Story video your connection to the YMCA. And in the video, we saw one kid talking about your glasses, like the Harry Potter glasses.
Yeah.
I feel like they would have a really fun interaction with you. What were some of your funniest memories with the kids?
Well, here's what's goofy, because I was at a table with a whole bunch of kids anywhere in the 5 to 7 year range, and I just don't imagine them necessarily as being fans of my shows of the last 15 years.
Right.
But they're all like, you eat the weird stuff. So
They know.
every question was like, they had to like figure out, oh, stranger and stranger animal. Like, do you eat that? But all the ones they were guessing were ones like, you know, do you ever eat frogs? And I'm just like, yeah.
Frog legs.
Yeah.
Well, when you were here one time, I had raccoon.
That's
so
true.
That's the only time I've ever had that.
That's
so
true.
you introduced me to that.
I was at a theme park with my son the week before last, and they had a petting zoo, and we were standing there, and you know, Noah's 14 now, and there were other dads and moms with littler kids around, and Noah just looks at me and he goes, "Dad, you've eaten all these animals when they were babies, right?" And I just went, "Yep." And you don't realize what you're saying, and then everyone just like turns around, and I had my scruffy, I'm with my kid beard and baseball hat and sunglasses.
What's
and
this
everyone's
guy
like,
talking about?
"Who is this
Were
man?"
there any aspiring chefs among those kids that talked to you?
All of them.
Yeah, right.
Here's the interesting thing. More and more, people are not just financially impoverished, they're time poor. And, you know, everyone in America who's trying to make ends meet, and everyone wants the best for their kids, is reading the same magazine articles, seeing the same stories on TV, that we need to cook more. It's vital to spend that time with them. If you are time impoverished, spend it on making make a lasagna and a soup and stick it in the fridge on a Sunday afternoon with your kids. So all the kids love to cook. The problem for a lot of these children is they just don't get enough time at home because of the necessities that the parents have just to try to make ends meet. I mean, the difference between success and failure for a family, the average family in America today, is, you know, a hospital bill for a grandparent. That's really scary. The social constructs in America today, where 2 generations ago we used to spend 71 minutes together over dinner, and now it's down to 16 or 17. I'm a dad. I get soccer practice. I get after school activities. We're just moving away from everything that has been working for so long culturally and socially in America. And it's so vital, not only the kids to get nutrition so that they can perform better in school, kids who eat better have better outcomes, right? We were talking in the green room, that line between malnutrition and obesity based on what you're eating is so narrow. We really have a lot of work to do. So raising awareness in the home is really important. A lot of parents are doing it by involving their kids with cooking.
Yeah, as an expert on food, we'd like to get your take on the changes in the food industry.
Sure.
A lot of restaurants are opting for meat substitutes instead of meat. We know you're a meat lover, but where do you see the industry going in the next 10 years?
Well, the meat substitutes is going to continue to trend really, really big. I think, and I'm not just saying it because I'm the bug guy, for a long time, the raising of bugs themselves, the cleaning, the processing was very expensive. Now that dollar is falling. There are some successful companies in Europe that now American companies are modeling themselves after. So the next big wave of investment is going to be in insect, and they'll grind it, you know, crickets and mealworms into flour. You'll see it as a healthy protein additive in a lot of foods. It's
wild to hear, though.
I have an interesting thought. But I didn't really know that was a thing that was happening.
Yeah, I personally have the same. If someone comes to me and says, "Do you have a recipe for no-fat, vegan, creme brulee, sugar-free creme brulee? I said, yes, of course I do. It's called an apple. Have one. Because at a certain point, you get so far away from the thing itself, what's the point? I think that all the, Beyond Meat, Impossible Meat, all these companies are doing a vast and great service because, as my friend Kat always says, never yuck on someone else's yum. For me, I would rather be eating smaller amounts of protein. We're eating more beans, legumes, farinaceous foods, greens. We're lowering the meat in our diet. We're trying to eat more sustainably in our house because you have to be sustainable in every single area of your life.
Sure.
And where I see the meat replacements being of greatest value is that if we can cut down our reliance on factory farms to supply us with meat, our water table restores its health. The ground doesn't get polluted
through so many different
the
things.
methane release. Factory farming in America is killing our biosphere, and we know that our climate, we're not having climate change. We're in the middle of a climate crisis, and anything that we can do in our food system to help repair it affects that climate.
So those types of things change. You mentioned the crickets, and I'm thinking about cricket powder and things like
I
that.
know.
But let's talk about millennials are often looked to as like, okay, what are their habits compared to previous generations? Are you seeing movement in sort of the way millennials are eating and looking at food that are affecting the food game?
The youngest generation with income out there, right? So that's right out of college, is spending a greater percentage of that income in restaurants than ever before. That's where they're socializing. So they're valuing good food. I think that's really, really wonderful. The biggest characteristic of that generation when it comes to food is transparency. You can't fool them. They want to know where their food comes from. They want to know it's good for you. They want to know it's healthy. And I look to that as probably the biggest predictive indicator of where we're going food-wise over the next 20, 30 years. As that generation and generations behind it mature and they start having children, the demands that they're going to make on the big companies to be sustainable, to be humane organizations, to have humane business practices, not just in what they're making or creating, but in how they're treating their people, they're going to be voting with their wallets over those products, and I think it's going to make a huge impact on our food system in the next 10 to 15 years. No, all for the good. All for the good. Look, I'm an old white guy, and I hate to say it that way, but we really did a lot of things that were screwed up. We tried our best. A lot of people did. We didn't know what we were doing, right? I really look not to the generations that came right after us, but to those millennials, that young generation that's in college right now. They're so active. Look at what David Hogg and those young people did in Parkland, right? I mean, these people understand that you don't even have to be of voting age to help correct the system. And I think it's an young people in America, people of color, women, LGBTQ community, these are the people that are going to save my country and make our world safe for my kids and grandchildren. I couldn't be more grateful.
Yeah, beautifully put. Let's talk about this new holiday, Anthony Bourdain Day.
Yeah.
You just celebrated the late chef's birthday. He was a friend of yours.
Yeah.
Talk to us about this day and how you celebrated.
Jose Andres and Eric Repair, Tony's two of his closest friends. Eric was his best friend. Created an incredible scholarship fund at CIA. So that young people could travel and eat in Tony's honor. And then they decided, let's celebrate Tony, not on the anniversary of his passing, but on his birthday. He would have been 63 2 days ago. Wow. And so I posted a bunch of pictures and videos, and Eric and Jose had said, hey, let's salute him the way he would want to be saluted. Let's eat some street food. Let's pour a drink in his honor. And let's remember the great things that he did. Anthony Bourdain was the most symphonic, charismatic human being that I've ever met in my lifetime. Anywhere, everyone wanted to be him. He walked in a room and the whole room just tilted towards him. And his legacy of exploration, of respect and dignity, of sharing, of the transformative nature of travel, things that I really believed in. I think will never be. I think 100 years from now, he will still be written about in history books as a major influencer. I don't think time will forget him.
He left such a mark, continues to. Switch gears to this. Have to ask you about Bottle Rock 2019. Alice Cooper, 1,000 chickens. What is this all about?
I'm still really upset about it.
Yeah?
It's the wounds are fresh and you're kicking salt into them.
Well, I'm sorry to season it here.
No. Here's the deal. I went to my first concert was Alice Cooper out in Roosevelt Stadium in New Jersey. I mean, I'm a huge Alice Cooper fan. School's Out, when it came out in '70, was my anthem and was for years and years and years. And I had the opportunity at Bottle Rock to work with Alice, and we tried to break the Guinness Book of World Records for the rubber chicken toss. Now, the record was at 2,100 and something or other. We put out 5,000, 6,000 rubber chickens. We told everybody we're going to count to 3. There's going to be a chicken squawk. And you throw your rubber chicken. All you have to do is land it on the stage. The stage is massive.
Yeah, it's a huge stage.
Okay? The chickens, we check, were nicely weighted. You just give a nice little toss, you get them up there. We were the very last act before Mumford & Sons came on. So people had had a glass of wine or a barley pop or two.
Perhaps.
And so when they heard the throw the chickens all at once, because that's the thing, you can't just be like, and then another one, and then another one.
The same time.
Everyone needs to throw them at the same time.
So they heard it. They heard the instructions and did it.
4,000 birds landed on the stage, and they went back. They checked the tape. They had judge. I mean, Guinness. Like they come over with 20 people, and there's like they
official
take
thing,
it very seriously. And we didn't make it because people didn't throw them all in time. Now, Shep Gordon and David Graham and a whole bunch of other people, Alice, I think we're all pretty committed to doing this again next year.
Oh, I was going to say, how was Alex? What did Alice's
He is the great,
reaction?
first of all, super smart, super funny, super engaged, an amazing golf player, tons of fun to be around. Sometimes you meet your heroes and you're just maybe not quite as thrilled as you thought you might be. Meeting Alice Cooper and hanging out with him for a day was one of the great thrills of my life.
Yeah, that's good to hear. So wait, in your opinion, should it have counted? Should you guys have beat the record?
No, based on the rules, and let's just be fair. I mean, I gotta be fair. Let's get it the right way next year. We're gonna do it like first. Let's do it first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3,
Before
go.
any
Huck them
drinks or
all up on
anything.
stage. I mean, right? Don't you want a Guinness Book of?
Yeah, but you want to do it the right way. Yeah. So
Now, I do own an unofficial Guinness Book because at Bizarre Foods, no one's eaten as many animal testicles and
that is one for the record books for sure.
as I have, and I just want to show them the videotape and go, there you go.
Got it.
Who's done more of that than me? No one.
No
But
one.
apparently, no go.
In our hearts, you got it.
Yeah, all right, time for a game. We're going to play Confess Sesh Food Edition.
Love it.
Ready?
Yeah.
Here
Who doesn't
we
like
go.
a good confess sesh?
All right, we're going to give you this Confess Sesh jar. You pull out a question and
Yep.
spill the deets.
Yep.
Ready?
I have not seen these before.
You have not.
Spill one of your most secret food hacks. Oh my God. Most secret food hack.
As quick as you can.
Well, I'll tell you. I mean, the really big one is, it's not really a hack, but it is a secret, is that I am a really big fan of gas station pizza.
Oh,
wow.
I'll do gas station
All right.
hot dogs.
Well, VPN, Vera Pizzeria Neapolitana, as much as we all like to say that we're doing everything wood-fired with buffalo mozzarella and San Marzano tomatoes, that $1.99 Jack's Pizza winds
Nothing
up
beats it.
all the time nice with a jaunty endive salad. The last meal that I ate today, that's an easy one. I did a bagel, an everything bagel with smoked salmon, scallion cream cheese, and sliced tomato.
Your mouth watering over here.
Yeah, that is.
Well, that's my daily
One more. There you go.
breakfast
Jeremy
when
just
I'm
did
in
a
New York.
juice cleanse, so he's
Yeah.
excited.
Did you?
He's
Hey,
We'll talk about it later.
Mazel tov. You look fantastic.
Thank you very much.
What dish do you struggle making the most? Oh my God, that's so funny. My family will tell you right away, brownies. I make an amazing tarte tatin. I make great crumbles. I make bars. I do, custards, all of them. I literally have the, and I'm talking about, like, I follow cookbooks, Dory Greenspan, Rose Levy, Berenbaum, and I just screw up brownies.
Is it a moisture issue?
More than
like too dry or too moist? you know, right?
It's not a moisture issue.
A lot of times a brownie
It's a
can be too
flavor
moist in
issue.
the middle and then really dry on the edges.
Yes, I'm beyond that.
Okay.
I can't put together a good rate. If I sat there and made you 20 dishes, one of which were brownies, you go,
That's
wow,
the worst.
those 19 things were dynamite.
But the brownies.
What the heck, Zimmern, can't you make a brownie? I cannot make a brownie. Luckily, other people make great brownies.
They sure do. Now we know. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank
It's a pleasure to talk to you about
Good to
all
see
things.
you.
And guys, for more info on the YMCA Summer Food Program, visit theyfeedskids.org. And coming up tomorrow, we are joined live by actor Alan Cumming, who stars in the CBS series Instinct. Season 2 just days away. He will tell us what we can expect from that.
Plus, we're breaking down this week in Royals news in our Royal Record recap. Thanks for watching. For now, we leave you with one last thing from Bill Pullman. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Hi, I'm Bill Pullman, and this is One Last Thing. The last show or movie to blow me away. I tend to watch a lot around the Oscar screening and the Square. I think some of the best movie making that was done in last year's season. The last time one of my kids asked for Dad's advice, my son Lewis is an actor, and he asked me a question that I never could ask anybody when it happened to me. Like, you're called back for a part, and you've done auditions. You're going to have to audition again on a Saturday, but Friday night they've asked that you sit and have dinner with the director. What do you say when you're not in character and you're talking? And so I had some advice for that he thanked me for.